Last time, we baptized a Game Boy to the porcelain gods just to see if its reputation preceded itself. We also bought 4 broken ones online to see how these devices fail. Since we're modding these Game Boys, let's give them brand new shells and hardware that no one else has touched. I couldn't find a brand tied to these LCDs, so I'm just going to describe them based off of their shape. They look like repurposed BlackBerry screens, but don't quote me on that. The front board PCB is a complete replacement for the old Game Boy. While the kits I'm installing have similar looking front boards with a contrast button, they are not interchangeable. After swapping the motherboard from the old shell and into the new one, we are ready to mod our case for the LCD. As you can see, the LCD screen is an odd rectangle shape. Good thing it comes with a plastic bracket to align it. Just remember that the blue side of the ribbon cable is to be pointed up when installing. This LCD requires modification for it to fit, so our first order of business is to remove the top 2 screw posts. Simply taking a pair of pliers while rocking it back and forth, and it should snap off. This top fin on the Game Boy near the power switch also has to go. I'm securing this PCB to the back of the LCD with electrical tape. Use whatever tape you like, although I'd avoid Scotch tape for obvious reasons. You would think that after I installed one of these things off camera, that I would have remembered to shave off the contrast shield below the wheel. Either way, if you end up in this predicament, an X-Acto knife will make short work of it. Just shave it flush with the shell like so. Pressing and holding the contrast wheel displays a couple of options for us to tweak if so desired. If you press the contrast wheel quickly though, you can cycle through 30 plus color schemes. I personally like the neutral black and white. Next up, we're going to see what installing this non-branded square screen entails. This bracket is more brittle than the rectangular one if you're trying to modify it. As we can see, the hardware is almost identical to the last one we installed. On the surface, it looks like only the LCDs and brackets differ. After inspecting the LCD, we can see it is more of an oversized square shape. And this one doesn't require us to shave the posts or the power button fin in order for it to fit. I'll actually be using the double-sided tape for this install, as there isn't much clearance between the top posts and the LCD. Once again, I'm securing the PCB to the back of the LCD so it doesn't flop around on us. This one didn't come with a speaker pre-installed, so I'll be harvesting another one from a donor board. We'll also have to shave the contrast shielding to avoid the last install's annoyance. This battery contact had some corrosion, so let's flux it and apply some heat to take care of that. This ribbon cable is applied the same way. The blue stripe is faced toward the installer, not the board. Just off the bat, the square LCD seems to fill the viewport better. You could see a black border around the other Game Boy. It's also quite a bit dimmer, even if both are set to max settings. It's really hard to tell these Game Boys apart, so let's give the more impressive LCD a different shell. Good thing this device is so simple. Undoing a few screws and giving it another case gives us a much better result. For reference, the black and white Game Boy uses a rectangular LCD, while the yellow one uses a square one. Given the price, ease of installation, and final look, I have to say that the extra large square LCD the yellow one sports is the better option. One issue that I have with these devices is that they still use traditional AA batteries. Fortunately, there is a rather elegant solution by CleanJuice that incorporates a lithium poly battery and a USB-C port. I have to say, this installation is pretty simple. All you have to do is remove the battery contacts in the shell, and this thing fits like a glove. Simply connect the battery to the PCB and drop it in. It even has some tape on the back of it to make it even easier. There are also third-party battery covers, so you don't have to do all the trimming yourself. It really gives it a solid OEM look. My only gripe about the product is that it has an LED indicator that shines through the battery cover. You also have to lay the device face down to charge it. Out of all the mods I've tried so far, this is probably my most favorite. It is no hassle, easy to install, and gives almost 15 hours of playtime on a fully lit IPS screen. And that about does it for this video. I have to say, out of all the mods that I installed, I am most impressed with the CleanJuice battery mod. It is almost foolproof to install, and it gives you 15 hours of battery life on an IPS screen. Even more if you have the stock one. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down below. And as always, I'll see you next time.